We did get an update from Surprise Police about how this entire scene unfolded beginning early this morning when that man broke inside of this home. The police say that the mother of the 6-month-old baby and that baby held hostage for a number of hours before she was somehow able to escape, then called 911 from a cell phone of a construction crew in this area. You can see a number of these homes still being built. We're told she called 911 telling them that my child is in danger inside of that home with the child's father. When officers got to the scene, that's when they say they heard gunshots inside of the house. At that moment, they went into action, breaching the garage door, went inside of that home, rescuing that baby, taking him out and taking him to the hospital where he was airlifted to a hospital where we are told he suffered serious conditions. Since that point, as we mentioned, crisis negotiators along with SWAT teams have been here at that home trying to get the father to come out. At no point, Surprise Police say, did officers come into contact with the dad. They say that they had not seen him. They did not contact him in any way once they were inside of the house. They say they went inside, they got the baby, and then they quickly retreated out. And then they set up that perimeter where they were able to start the process of trying to talk with him to try to bring this to a peaceful resolution. But as you can see right now, there is nothing peaceful about how this is ending this home. Now probably a complete loss through the smoke that we've been seeing for the last hour or so. Right now, excuse me, it's unknown if the father of that child is still inside of that home, if law enforcement was able to get him out. We did hear a number of bangs, some flashes as officers were, SWAT teams were trying to get inside of that home, possibly try to get him out. At some point after that, we did start to see some smoke coming from this area, and then we just saw a big ball of flames and lots of fire coming from this home as SWAT teams were making that entry to try to go in and try to get him after we heard those loud bangs. But again, this scene just very chaotic, very difficult to watch, knowing that everything that has unfolded inside of this home since early this morning, with the mother of this 6-month-old baby being held hostage, to police officers hearing those gunshots, going in, finding that baby shot multiple times, and to now this. And I will tell you why, this neighborhood is really completely just left stunned right now, Mark and Caribe. We actually talked with a woman not too long ago. She says she was actually moving into the neighborhood today. She was moving into the neighborhood today. She's been driving by, excited every single day leading up to this week about moving into this brand new home, the subdivision, this neighborhood. She was excited about it. And now she says she's completely left uneasy knowing about what happened not so far away from that new home that she and her family were getting ready to move into just this weekend. But I'll tell you what, Mark and Caribe, it really is just a devastating scene out here. We've been talking to a number of the neighbors. They are just at a loss for words about what they have been seeing. We know that a number of folks who actually live in that part of the neighborhood have been evacuated as SWAT teams and as well as law enforcement were doing their operations, making sure that no one else was hurt. So we do know that a lot of folks were evacuated from there, but now it's close to 4 o'clock. Folks are coming home from work. Folks are coming home from school. As they arrive home, this is the scene that they are coming home to, not knowing that when they left earlier today, what was happening in that house in this neighborhood.
Yeah,
Mark,
Jonathan. Yeah, Jonathan, it's Tram here, by the way. We were covering this all throughout the afternoon. It started, obviously before 12 o'clock. We hit it again at 1 o'clock. We could see just the numerous police resources and the SWAT team, even the Goodyear Special Assignments Unit, which is usually called in to do negotiations in a high-risk situation like this. I mean, there was so much law enforcement from front to back to the side, and then now this. I mean, I can't imagine how frantic and how frightening the situation must have been for all parties involved. Do we know at all if any law enforcement was injured in all of this as well?
Yeah, and you know what, Tram, We have heard that no members of law enforcement were hurt. We do know, again, that there are a number of agencies here on scene. We know that SWAT teams from Goodyear, Peoria, as well as Surprise here, as well as crisis negotiators from Peoria, as well as Phoenix, also here as well, trying to bring the situation to a peaceful end is what their end goal was, to try to do that. But again, that is something that is clearly not happening now that this house has gone up in flames. As we mentioned, Surprise Fire also now arriving here on scene to try to douse those flames and put out the fire as much as they can. Again, but the big question is, exactly the father of the 6-month-old baby accused of pulling a trigger that seriously injured a 6-month-old child. We don't know if that the child's father was inside of the home when those flames started, if it was any type of munitions used by law enforcement. Again, we did hear a number of loud bangs before we did see that smoke. So again, that's another component of this investigation that will definitely be under scrutiny and taken under consideration about this fire and how it all started. But so many moving parts to this story. We don't know, again, if the father of that 6-month-old child is in custody, if he is still in the house, who may have started this fire. But again, we just do know it has just been just a horrific day of violence for folks in this particular community. Tram, Mark?
Jonathan, look, I think there are 3 big questions, and I know that the police and fire briefings have not come as often as we would all like just to get some answers to all of this. But one, and we don't know, but we know the baby last time we heard was in serious condition, so that's obviously at the top of mind for everyone. The second thing would be how this fire started. Was it started by the man who was holed up inside this house, or as you mentioned, there's the possibility that one of the flashbang rounds that was designed to flush him out of the house when he was still alive, he may still be alive, but at the point when we knew he was holed up inside the house after the rescue of the baby, did one of the flashbang rounds perhaps start this fire, or did the man inside the house start the fire? And then the third thing is, and maybe you can address this because maybe police talked about it, do we know anything about the history of the father and the wife in the past? Was there a restraining order?
That is a question that we did ask during our news press briefing with Surprise Police. And we do want to give them a little bit of credit. They actually were able to come to us in the last 2 hours to give us information on what they knew. They were planning to bring us more information before the 4 o'clock, but obviously that is when they decided to go in with that tactical operation, and that is when we started seeing the smoke and the flames coming from that home. So we were supposed to get more information from Surprise Police about this investigation, but obviously that completely did a 180 when the smoke and the flames started coming from that home. As for any type of protective orders, restraining orders, that is a question we did ask Surprise Police when we talked to them at 2 o'clock this afternoon. They tell us, as far as they are aware, there was no history, no restraining orders, nothing that would suggest anything that they had any contact with the mother, the child, or the father in this incident. But it is something that we had asked and something that they were promising to get back to us with, because again, one of the key things that we learned were so many different agencies are here on scene working together on this particular case and on this incident, that they are sharing resources and they are sharing information about what they may know about that dad, about any other incidents, about any other restraining orders, protective orders, or any other contact they may have had. So that was one of the answers, or one of the questions we did ask, and we were actually hoping to get more information from Surprise Police when they were supposed to give us another briefing right before 4 o'clock to give us more information about exactly what was happening. But we just actually heard another bang coming from that area, so we don't know if that was any other type of munitions fired by SWAT, or if that was another something inside of the house that just caught fire and just exploded. But again, that is a very still real active scene, and it has been playing out essentially since 11:30 is when Surprise Police got that phone call from the mother of that 6-month-old baby. But Surprise Police telling us this has been nearly a day-long incident that started early this morning when the father of that 6-month-old baby somehow broke inside of that home and then held the mother and the baby hostage for a number of hours until she was somehow able to escape that home, went to a nearby construction site, used a cell phone that construction crews working on building homes in this area to dial 911. They arrived here quickly, and that is when this entire scene began to unfold. That's when officers say they were listening outside. They were waiting, hoping that this would come to a peaceful end, but they were on their way here. They say they received word that the dad had a gun and could potentially fire. Once they heard those gunshots, that is when Surprise Police say they breached a door to get inside of that home, and then they quickly ran inside, found that baby shot